Hey guys, welcome back. Welcome to door number 19 of our Crafter's Companion Advent Calendar. We're just about there at the end. Can you believe it? Door number 19. Absolutely scary. It really is. Cannot believe that we are only, 5 more days after this away from, 4 more days really, after this from the end of the Advent Calendar. But there's still 4 more days. Let's not talk about the end of the Advent Calendar. This one is all about number 19 of the 2023 Advent Calendar. Way to dive straight in, but thank you for all the comments that you have been making. I do read them all, as I do say within every single video, and also for all you that have subscribed, you've hit that bell notification and then also given me the thumbs up. Now I'm just skipping over all of that because let's just dive straight in. Let's do this. Let's have a look when it comes to, of course, door number 19 of our Advent Calendar. We're going to have a look and see what delights await us. So if we go in, so straight away I already see that it's here, so I'm not going to go and zoom out. Let's open. That's in the Wizard of Oz, isn't it? Right, let's go in, open, and see. We've got pumpkin, and we've also got wheelbarrow. We've got pumpkin and foliage, and we've also got a couple of dies as well. So we've got a lovely selection of autumnal or autumn or Halloween-esque items to be using next year. Right, well, what we're going to do, well, first and foremost, what I have done, I'm going to tell you where the end result is going to be, and that's this. This could be a number of things. This is just wildflower seeds. This is all wildflower seeds, and that is a die cut circle. We're going to be using it, but it's a die cut circle that is actually 4 1/4 inches in diameter. So I've just die cut that in craft card and folded it in half, and then that is what we're going to put our finished project onto. So let's set that out the way for now, and then let's start to do some die cutting. Now I'm going to go in the circular dies that I'm using. The straight edge ones are from Chloe's. So with that one being 4 1/4 in diameter, I'm going for the next size down as well. And then what I'm also then going to do is, if I take one of these, no, not that one, let's go, is it that one and that one here. I'm going to take these two as well. Now when it comes to these two, one of them is 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, and then that is the next size down. So we've got these dies, circular dies, here ready to go. What we're going to do is let's bring in some craft card here. So I want the largest die from both these sets here. So I'm going to set them out the way, and what I'm also just going to do is roughly cut this. So let's roughly cut that up, and I'm going to go in with my tape here. So if I go in with our tape and tape this down. So let's tape that and then secure that so it's nice and secure. I'm going to go in with my junior plates here. So if I go in with my junior plates, I'm not going to need the magnetic shim. I'm only going to need my actual frosted shim and top plate. So we can then come along and feed that one through. So that is then going to give us our 2 layers. So let's run that in, and then we're going to then bring this back, and then we've got our 2 circular die cuts. My plates I'm just going to set out the way for now. Don't need these now, so I'm going to set them out the way, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come along with some watercolour cardstock. So I'm going to take that other circular die, so that's the one that's the next size down. So that one, what I'm going to do is just roughly cut a square, you can see here. And then I'm also going to cut, don't need much, just a little square when it comes to that one. So in with this one, what we're going to do is we're going to bring in our Sweet Clementine. So that one is our Duet ink pad. Now you can use your brushes if you want. I'm just going to go in with my blending tool. Actually, I've got my blending tool underneath. And what I'm going to do is we're just going to go in and we're going to start to add that Sweet Clementine. Now, for this, don't worry about being neat or precise or any marks or anything like that, because we're going to do a splattered faux bleach effect. So you're not really going to see any little abnormalities from them. So we're just wanting to get the colour on here. And I do want the colour to kind of go to the edge. The reason being is any of this excess, I'm going to use some of those little pumpkin dies to die cut into that excess. So that's why I'm purposely going further to the edges when it comes to the actual cardstock and the Sweet Clementine. So we're going to go in, we're going to lay that down. Let's really start to layer up my actual blending tool with the Sweet Clementine. So let's add that on. And then what we can also do while we're here, it'll be fine. While we're here, let's take that away. Now remember, the hook and loops that I use, in case anyone's wanting to know, when it comes to the actual hook and loop underneath, I use the actual hook. So it's the rough side that I use. So I've got them from Stix2. They do the softer side as well, but it's the hook that you need. So let's take that little bit in, and then we're going to go from Awakening Forest, also from the Duet. And we don't need much of this, hence why it's just a smaller square. But I just want to go and add that on. So let's build that up. Not worrying about being neat or precise, as I said before, because you're not really going to see any of that. If there is anything that's not overly neat, that's more than fine. Absolutely more than fine. So we're going to move that out the way. Let's move that out the way. And then bring in either your water spritz, or as you guys know, I just use a large old cleaning bottle because I use so much water to spritz and do backgrounds. And then usually I go into my hand and then spritz. But on this occasion, let's just go direct on. And then we're going to let that set. I'm just going to spritz a little bit more into there. Let that set for a few minutes or so. We're wanting to then let that do its thing. We want that to start to lift that colour up as much as you want. And obviously, with it being the Duet, it's really going to strip it right back when it comes to the colour. So we're going to be left with our white. And then what I'm going to do, just obviously you can use kitchen roll, which I usually use, but then also remember you can do it onto cardstock as well. Then you're going to get a completely different look. That's then going to give you more of kind of like a marbled effect. So let's go back in, because obviously with your kitchen roll is absorbing it. Now your cardstock will absorb it, but what it's doing is it's got that little bit of a barrier. So instead of it being sucked up straight away like the kitchen roll, it's just sitting. So we've now got that form of a background. So let's take that. And then what I'm also just going to do with this is let's just dab that on. Lift that up. And then we've got that cool, I love that effect. Absolutely love that effect. So then what I'm going to do is, because we can layer with our Duet ink pads, let me plug in my heat tool. So if I plug that in, and then for this one, we're going to leave as it is. I'm just going to dry it though, because we're going to do a little bit of stamping. We're going to leave this as it is, and then when it comes to the sweet clementine, we're going to dry a little bit of that, and then we're going to go over it again with the sweet clementine and do another full bleach. So we're going to get a couple of different levels. So let's dry that off. It doesn't need to be completely dry, just dry enough for us to come along with another level of the sweet clementine. So that'll be fine for now. So let's go back in with our sweet clementine. Let's go back in with our blending tool. And let's add a little bit more. Now I don't want to go as heavy-handed as the first time. Just what I'm wanting to do is I want to take some of that whiteness away now. You'll still see that white full bleached background, but you're going to have that depth to it. So let's add that in, inking up like so. And then that is going to be more than enough. So you can start to still see kind of, it's a bit like a leathered effect. A little bit like leather. I'm going to do the same again. Let's spritz. And then we're going to leave that to set just for a few moments. I'm going to move that out the way. Let's bring a bit of kitchen roll in. Let's dry all that. While that's still doing its thing for a moment or two, let me just do a little bit more drying when it comes to the Awakening Forest. That'll be fine. Bring this one back in. Going to come in with another bit of kitchen roll. Let's bring that up. Layer that on. And layer that on. So if I lift that up, and then as that back layer starts to dry, you can see we can still do full bleaching on that one. I'm not going to use that. Let's take that off and then take that. Love it. Love it. So now we're going to dry that one. So let's dry that off. If you leave it to dry naturally, it will dry relatively flat. If you use a heat tool, it will start to bend and buckle, but it's fine. So that's fine for now. We can just set that to the side before we come along and do some cutting. And I'm going to come along now with our orange water reactive. And this time, I'm going to do one of my favourite techniques. So let's bring that in. Let's bring in, I need another bit of watercolour card. So let's bring more in. I don't need loads. So let's move that out the way. So if we add our watercolour card onto our stamping platform, like that, and then what we're going to do is we're going to come along with our wheelbarrow and also our pumpkins. That's going to go into there. And then going to stamp. What we're then going to do is I'm going to ink up. This is our orange water reactive. I'm going to do a light little spritz. And then going to come along. And then I'm going to press. And then I'm going to lift. Just do a little bit more of a light spritz. Now the key thing here is don't move your card and don't move your stamp. Keep it exactly where it is. And then we want to dry this. So we want to dry it all off. So any bigger splodges of that we can take off. And I know it looks a bit messy, and it is. So we're just going to keep on drying it. As I said, don't move the card and don't move your stamp. And then once it's dried enough, what we're then going to do is let's bring it back in. I'm going to go with a rustic brown waterproof ink pad and ink up. Turn it around. Press that in and then lift. So then what we're going to get is we're going to get that kind of distressed orange colour, but it's forming in the shape of your stamp. But then what we've got is we've got that crisp, clean line when it comes to the actual stamped impression using the rustic brown. So at this point, we can move it now because we're finished. So move that out the way. Then we're going to do a little bit of colouring with our Harvest Moon sparkle pen. But before we do that, let's die cut it out. So we're going to go in with that smallest circle of the two. So that's that smallest one down from our craft circle. Let's line that up and let's press that on. We're going to go base, frosted and top plate because we don't need our, what don't we need? We don't need our magnetic shim, so we don't need to worry about that one. I'm going to bring that in. Let's bring that one in here. And then we're going to come in with our Harvest Moon. And when it comes to the Harvest Moon, what we're going to do is let's just do a little bit of colouring. So if we're going with a little bit of colour in here, so we're going to colour all of the two pumpkins there. So if we colour those two there, like so, I'm going to go in and colour there. Not doing any blend or anything like that, I'm just simply colouring the pumpkins. I'm also going to do these two here as well. Now you can come in and do the stalks and that if you want. I just want that hit of orange sparkle or Harvest Moon on the pumpkin and on the pumpkin only. And that's it. So that's all that I'm going to do when it comes to there. And in actual fact, let's just neaten that edge around the edge there, like so. And then if I lift that one up, so you can see there. Then what we're going to do is we're going to set that out the side for now. We're then going to come back in with that largest, and we're going to come in with that square, that circle. Then what we're going to do is let's just cut that for now. So we're going to take that, tape it down. I'm going to the side here because I want to keep some of that edge free so I can come along and stamp in a moment and do a little bit of cutting. So I am going to run that one through. So the camera for my Gemini has just gone down, so it doesn't matter. Just cutting that out as that one comes through. now got our circle layer. We've also got that layer, which will sit into the middle here. So let's move that out the way and move that out the way. Let's take all of these bits here and let's take our pumpkin and our floral, our foliage. So the foliage, I need rustic brown again. So we're going to take that and we're going to do this 4 times. We're going to leave a little bit of space so that we can use the dye around it. Like there and then there. So that's those 4. Then I just need 2 pumpkins now. So let's bring in our pumpkin, rustic brown, also using our, whatchamacallit, also using the rustic brown waterproof. Can go there, and then that can go there. Move all of that out the way, and then let's bring in our dyes. Let's bring that in. Let's snip, snip, and then snip that away. I'm going to do the same here. I'm just going to use my Gemini Mini to cut these out. So let's bring that in, and then I'm going to overlay around like so. I need another bit, where's my tape? There we go. Let's overlay that around here. Now you can still, if you want to colour these pumpkins in with a harvest moon, and of course you can. I'm not, I'm just leaving them as they are. Let's bring these ones in, run them through. So let's move out there. So this could be a little autumnal gift or autumn gift near the time. You could put some seeds and all that in the little pack, and then you can then give them as a gift. So anything along those lines, anything maybe for the garden, again gift wise, just a nice way to gift something, seeds for the garden or anything for the garden. And if you want to do it Halloween theme, you could put little sweeties or treats or that inside it. We're going to run that one through. So as that one then runs through, that's our 2 pumpkins done. So let's take the pumpkin out and move that there. So we don't need that now. So that can go out the way. And then we've then got our leaf or our foliage. That can go there. And then we've got our last 2 to do. So let's line that up. Work it around, follow it around, tape it in. And then now we can do our last one. Bring that in, follow it around. Now, although I usually do the cutting first, then the stamping, when it comes to something small like this, yeah, you'll need to do the stamping first and die cutting last. So let's take that one, move that one, and then we've got these little bits here. So we've got all of these. Now the only thing I'm going to do with the pumpkin is I'm going to go in with the ice grey 2 and just lightly round the edge, and that's it. So light, round, 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 and that's it. To add that little bit extra depth. And then we can take all of these bits here. Now these, because we've done water techniques, I'm going to use my tacky glue to really let that saturate inside of the card. And although that we are putting this onto our, what do you call it? We're putting it onto a pack of seeds. You know, this could go onto a card front if you want to. It doesn't have to go onto a pack of something to give as a gift. So let's line that up, press that in. So we're just going to hold that in, like so. Press that. Let's go in with our next one. Let's take that, and we are, get my little needle. Still not sorted out from yesterday, even though I said I would. Work our glue around. Work that into position, like so. Press that in. And then if I take some foam pads, so for that one, let's take our foam pads. So these are 3 mil, these ones. Now what I'm going to do, before I stick that on, I'm going to come on and I'm going to stick it onto here first, just so I can get the angle and the positioning right. And that one I'm going to set into there. Press that in. And then because, of course, we've done water-based techniques and it's maybe still just a little bit on the tack side, I'm just going to add some of my tacky glue into the middle. So I'm going to line that up there, and then let's hold that down. And let's take some foam pads, 3 mil, so there's my 5 mil. Where are my 7 mil? Nope, that's 5 mil. These are the, here we go. Where's my dot? There's my pokey tool. Wondered where that went. There we go. So, on the back of my pumpkin, I'm going to put a couple of foam pads. Now, these 7 mil by 7 mil, these are 4 mil in thickness. So these ones are a little bit thicker because I want them higher than I want the actual foliage part. So these ones, these foam pads, these are just 5 mil by 5 mil around. And then the actual depth of them, the thickness of them, are 3 mil. Let's go into the last one. There. And then there. Set that out of the way. So if I take the backing off of these, and then that one I'm going to tuck there, slight angle. That one I'm going to tuck there at a slight angle. Then if I take that, I'm going to bend that ever so slightly. that one under. And then I'm going to do the same for the other 3. Bend them slightly. Tuck that under. I'm going to go in with my last one, second last one. Tuck that under. And then tuck that one underneath there. And then that is all that I'm going to do. So we've got our wildflower seeds, or it could be whatever seeds. That was just, by the way, a 4x6 cello bag. And then our circular nesting dies. And then we've used a couple of our Duet Sweet Clementine Awakening Forest. We've used our orange water reactive, and then we've used our rustic brown waterproof ink pad. We've also used our Harvest Moon sparkle pen, and then some foam pads to layer up. That was craft card and watercolour card that we've used. So if I bring it in that way for you to see, let's go that way. There we go. A little bit better of a closer up, you can see there. And then what I will do is I'll bring it up there so you can see just here as well. Let's tilt that around so you can see, using the stamp and the dies all together. And that has been from door number 19 of our 2023 Crafter's Companion Advent Calendar. So another little bit of a different take on an idea. I hope you enjoyed that one. Do let me know in the comments what you think of that one. And then I will no doubt see you again back here tomorrow, where we're going to be opening up door number 20 of our Advent Calendar. Thank you so much for watching me here on my Crafter's Companion YouTube channel. Until tomorrow, I will see you then. Bye.